Guys, I have a surprise for you. Hold on. Let me go get it. From 1,000 subscribers to 150,000 subscribers in only 8 months. And I got this to show for it. A single video that has made 16,000 US dollars in a little over 1 month. Giveaways of over 8,000 US dollars in only 6 months since I've been monetized. Earning a 6-figure US dollar income in only 10 months of being monetized, and within the first year of announcing that my channel would be launched officially. US dollar 5-figure income in 1 month, only 6 months of being monetized. And by the way, this is fake money. Don't come after me for it. Launching the Rockstar Grant to be able to finance ideas and initiatives from my subscriber family, and giving the first grant of 10,000 US dollars in 1 month starting in January 2023, which is only 9 months after my channel has been monetized, and with a goal of giving up to 50,000 US dollars per month in grant money. I am 46 years old, not the typical 20-year-old person that achieves success on YouTube. And I'm also a one-man show. I script, I record, I edit, I publish, I create my thumbnails, and I respond to my comments. And in addition to that, I manage the Rockstar Club, where I'm able to coach subscribers on their path to achieving financial freedom. And you know what? This is while running several businesses, to include our very own e-commerce platform, Gopher Global, managing a consultancy, running a physical brick and mortar business, being on a few boards for large companies or very impactful organizations, and promoting my book along with several other digital and physical products that I have. I am a woman, a mother, a wife, and a very proud Black woman who is not just Jamaican, but I also reside in Jamaica. And as a retired corporate executive and now self-appointed lecturer for the Rockstar Academy, my profile is definitely not that of the typical person who succeeds on YouTube. But I say all of this because once again, I have proven that there's absolutely nothing I can't do if I put my mind to it. And you know what, my rock stars? You can too. You're not too busy. You're not too unintelligent. You're not too underexposed. You just need to develop a plan and execute accordingly. And today, I'm gonna share exactly how I was able to do everything I just told you earlier. Welcome back to the channel, my rock stars, my YouTube family. It's so great to have you back. Today, I'm gonna be sharing my YouTube journey with you, and I'm gonna share the blueprint that I used to achieve some of the milestones that I was able to share with you earlier. But you know what, my rock stars? Without you, this would not have been possible. So again, I want to say thank you, and I want to recognize you, because this plaque here is as much yours as it is mine. I appreciate your support. Thank you. So I thought to myself, okay, do I just come on here and talk freely, or do I figure out a way to communicate my strategy in a very structured manner? You guys know I'm gonna end up doing the latter, right? So what I decided to do was to take the word rock star. And I'm sure most of you know by now that I call you my rock stars as a spin-off from my name Rockhead. And that's only because I wanted to call you Rock Nation, which to me was more appropriate, but then Jay-Z already took that and I feared a lawsuit. So we're sticking to rock stars, and you know what? It's grown on me. I hope it has grown on you too. So as I was saying, I took the word rock star and I made it into an acronym that embodies the strategy that I used, or what I'm going to call the blueprint that I used to achieve success on YouTube. And as I was laying it out on paper, I thought to myself, there's just too much here to share in one video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you exactly what I did at a high level, but I've also created 2 additional tools that you will be able to use to achieve similar or even greater success on YouTube. And I'm going to share that later on in this video. And whereas in this video, I'm going to tell you how I did it at a high level, those tools, they're going to show you exactly step by step in tutorial form how to maximize your success on YouTube. Now, before we continue, please remember that there are scammers in the comments. They're going to be using my photograph and asking you to WhatsApp them or to Telegram them. It's a scam. Please ignore and report. That said, my YouTube family, class is now in session. Now, the R in the acronym ROCKSTAR means research and reconnaissance. Now, this is the first and most critical step in your YouTube journey, because this is where you're going to do the research to determine which niche you're going to build your YouTube channel based on. Is it going to be education? Is it going to be a how-to channel? Is it going to be a vlog? Whatever it is, you need to do 2 things to make sure that it's a niche that you will continue to have ideas for. I encourage you to write down 50 video ideas. And if you're able to do that without thinking too hard and doing any research, it typically means that you will be able to find enough content to sustain this channel. If you're struggling at the first 10 or even the first 20, it's usually an indication that you're likely niching down too much. If that's the case, expand the niche. For example, I'm talking about money a lot on this channel, but you realize that niche is a little bit expanded because I'm talking about self-development. I'm talking about success overall in life and not just financial success, among other topics. And the second step is to make sure that with your channel, you're giving more than you get. Your content needs to add value to people's lives. Otherwise, they're not going to watch it. Another factor is your differentiator. What is it that you're going to do differently that's going to set you aside from everybody else on YouTube? In differentiating yourself, just make sure you put your own spin on your content. Now let's move on to the O in Rockstar, and it means optimize. Now, going back to starting your YouTube channel as a business. When you're starting a business, you need to set goals, right? The same is true for your channel. Now, I did this with my YouTube content calendar. And as I share later in this video, the other tools that you can use to capitalize on your YouTube success, the content calendar will be complementary if you opt to capitalize on those 2 options. Now, in this content calendar, which is an Excel file, I lay out my video titles that I plan for, and I typically have 50 to 100 titles laid out in advance. I have my recording date, my recording location, my recording time, and of course, it's just different places around our home from a location perspective, that is. I also will include props if necessary, and I'll put things like the keywords for the video, the description, and other critical components that will pull the overall video together. Now, at a later date, after I've launched the 2 tools that I'm about to share with you later on in this video, I'll also make the content calendar that I use available to you on OdettaRockheadCar.com. Now, as you're optimizing your channel, you need to ensure that absolutely nothing comes in the way of your earning potential, and that includes copyright claims or copyright flags. Now, this is when you use either other people's music or other people's content in your videos, and YouTube recognizes that with their scans and flag your video, which means you will not be able to monetize that video. So now you would have spent time to create a video, to record it, to edit it, to pop it up, and not make $1 from it. Why take the chance, my rock stars? You know what I do? I get all the music that I use on my YouTube channel from the YouTube studio, where they have a large enough catalog of music and options that I can use to bring a little bit of entertainment to my videos. YouTube cannot flag their own music for copyright. And it's also why inserting ads in your content and selecting all the different ad types in the YouTube back office to be shown on your videos will help you to optimize your ability to earn money on YouTube. If no one watches an ad for at least 15 seconds, that view will not count as a monetized view. YouTube typically puts an ad at the beginning and the end of a video. I go in and every 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the video, I'll put in a slot for a mid-roll ad. And then YouTube, of course, determines which ads to put there, but I do create the ad slots. Now, the C in Rockstars for this blueprint is to create. And by creating, I mean to create your content, to create your video in essence. Now, a lot of people on YouTube will tell you that all you have to do to be successful on YouTube is to hit record. It's not the case, guys. You need to treat it like a business. You need to plan, you need to strategize, you need to optimize, and you need to maximize your potential to earn. And as it pertains to creating your content, you need to keep that in mind. Now, I didn't start to record videos with a camera. I started with my regular iPhone, and I used my AirPods initially. Now, when I started to make a few dollars, I upgraded to a camera, which is the one I'm still using today, and the one I'm probably gonna use forever on this channel because I'm satisfied with the footage. And the link, of course, is in the description. And I use my Rode mic, which kind of just sits before me most times, and sometimes I have it hanging over me. I'll show you that again in what I'm gonna share later on. Now, in creating my videos, it's important to note that I had no previous video recording skills, video editing skills. Everything that you're seeing, while it's not great or phenomenal, it's self-taught. But you know what? It's good enough to get videos with over 1 million views. Now, I remember one of my first videos, I just sat down and I set things up and I started to record. And somebody wrote in the comments, your camera is not positioned properly. And the person went on to explain that there should be a certain distance from the top of my head to the top of the footage, like that, right? And I'm there thinking, is this person really saying that? These things to me are just not important. I've never been good at majoring in the minor. And while I received the feedback and I considered it, at the end of the day, I do not want to make my life that complicated. And as it pertains to creating engaging content, it's important to realize that I do not reinvent the wheel. Google is a search engine that has many of the topics that I'm sharing on my channel. Now, some of them are definitely original, and others I've read it or I've seen it and I'm just putting my spin on it. You do not need to reinvent the wheel to be able to achieve success on YouTube. Just don't be a copycat, and whatever you do, make it yours. Now, as you're creating your video, especially your first video, it's okay to feel nervous. When I got to the place in this life where I realized that nobody could beat me, could punish me, could bully me, or could insult me into submission, I realized I didn't need to feel nervous anymore. Think about it. Why are you nervous? Because you're worried about what people are gonna think. You're worried about what their reaction is gonna be to what you're doing. But if you get to a place where you know, as long as you're doing your best, You are gonna be okay with people's opinion of you, and you know that they can't punish you, they can't beat you, and soon you're gonna realize that nervousness comes because you fear disappointing other people. And the moment you get over that fear and you just decide that with everything you do, you're gonna do your best, some people are gonna be disappointed, some people are gonna judge you, some people are gonna throw hate your way. The minute you accept that, that nervousness ceases to exist. But in the event you are feeling nervous, don't allow it to overwhelm you. Just make sure you prepare, you stick to the script, and you do the best job you can possibly do so that you are not disappointing yourself, because that for me is what's most important. Now also, in creating these videos, your tone needs to be as engaging as is possible. If you're reading from a script, try not to sound robotic. Ensure that there's some amount of affliction. Is that the word? Yeah, I think it's the word, affliction in your voice. And on that note, you don't need to know English like your English teacher. Why do you have to be perfect? I mess up all the time on my channel. Sometimes I add a S where it's not supposed to go, or I say is where R is supposed to go. We are not here to major in the minor. And people will find you relatable because they too are not perfect. So stop recording the video over and over and over and over to get it right, or repeating yourself and re-editing and re-editing. No. Authenticity sells, relatability sells. So when you sit down to create, stop majoring in the minor and instead focus on adding value to those who are watching. Now for me, my rock stars, because I have a very busy schedule doing a million other things other than YouTube, I record all my videos in one day. Typically on a Friday morning or a Saturday morning is when I'll record my videos. And the day before, I'll just spend a few minutes to make bullet items for what I'm gonna talk about so I don't forget or lose my train of thought, which happens a lot, by the way, guys. I think it's something related to my age. But anyway, what I do is I record my first video wherever I choose to. Then I go and I change my clothes. I may change my jewelry. I may change my hair. I may pop on a headband, or I may put a flower in my hair. And then I come, I record video number 2. And then I go and change my clothing again. And I may change my location and I record video number 3. And then that way, my 3 videos for the week, they're recorded, and the editing I'll tell you about later on. So if you have a busy schedule or a full-time job, that may work for you. And then, like I said, I'll share information on how I edit and how I balance my editing with everything else that I'm doing later on in this video. Now the K in Rockstar is killer edit. Yeah, guys, I couldn't find another word that started with K that was applicable, and I needed to talk about editing as a step in this blueprint because it's so critical to your success. So K is for killer edits. Now for me, I didn't want to make editing more complicated than it has to be. So I just use my tablet and I use iMovie only. I don't even use a laptop because the laptop version of iMovie is a little bit more complex to me than the tablet version or the phone version. So I keep it very simple. And again, in the tools that I'm going to share at the end of this video, I'm going to show you step by step exactly how I edit. So for me, after I record my 3 videos on the weekend, then throughout the week, I edit whenever I get free time or whenever I dedicate time to editing. Now, I use a few platforms, or I should say websites, to help me with my edits. Envato, again, the link is below. That's where I get my B-roll footage, like this one here that I'm gonna pop up. And that footage will convey something I'm saying with a video that's coming from one of these platforms like Envato. I also use Canva to get different elements, whether they're images from a photo perspective or videos from, to be able to incorporate in my actual video when I'm editing. And again, I'll show you exactly how I do that when I explain the 2 tools that I'm going to introduce to you later on. You are going to make mistakes. What's important is the lessons that you learn along the way, and you need to incorporate those learnings to make sure you're delivering content that is the best that you can put out there to assure your success on YouTube. Now for S in the Rockstar acronym, I'm gonna call it structure, sound, and staging. Now before I sit to create my videos or to record my videos, like I said, I do a script. And in this script, I always have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. The intro is what I typically use to draw you in, and then the body, I try to engage you so that you stay, and then the conclusion is how I wrap up. Now in structuring your video, you may choose to use a script. Some people may use a storyboard. I'll show you exactly how to do that when I cover the tools, and I'm gonna get tired of saying that. Just know that this video is about telling you, and those tools I'm gonna introduce to you later on in the video is more about showing you how to do what I'm telling you. Now, as I structure the videos, I also make sure that I'm prompting people to like and subscribe, and now is a good time to remind you to just like this video if I'm sharing anything that you are finding value in, and also to subscribe and become a rock star if you have not done so already. But remember to not just have pop-ups and green screens that say like, share, and subscribe, but to tell people as well, because you know what happens to me, my rock stars? I'll be watching a video, I absolutely love the content, and I completely forget to like until the person says like this video, and that's when I'll like. So don't take for granted that people remember always to like. Sometimes you have to prompt them. So in scripting your video and structuring it, make sure you have prompt reminders there for you to do so. Now under structure as well, try to arrange your content on YouTube in playlists. That way you can link a playlist at the end of the video so somebody can indulge in similar content. Now under structure, I'm going to remind you about the end screen that I mentioned up top, and this is where video thumbnails pop up at the end of your video for videos that your channel is recommending that your viewers watch. Critical to your success on YouTube because it's gonna drive your views. Now under S, we also have sound, and all I'm gonna say on that one is this: people will watch a poor quality video with good sound more than they'll watch a good quality video with bad sound. Sound is important. Does it have to be perfect? Absolutely not. But you need to make sure you get the best sound that you possibly can. Now, when I record, you often hear an echo. You hear birds in the background. You hear cows mooing sometimes. You hear all kind of things. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just make sure it's clear. Again, people can identify with you if you are relatable. And everybody has something going on in their background unless they're sitting in a professional studio, which by the way, I'm never gonna do, but I understand those creators who choose to do that on their path to achieving success. It's just not for me. And you know what, my rock stars, it doesn't have to be for you either. Now, as it pertains to sound, I started out with my earpods, and as I made a few dollars, I upgraded to a mic. I think that microphone was about $50, and now I'm using, as I shared earlier, I'm using a higher grade microphone. Still not at the top of the line, still pretty inexpensive, but it works, so I'm gonna stick with it. And in terms of staging under S, this one is critical. Do not just go and post your videos and make it public immediately. Stage your videos. Put it up there with a time for it to post in the future. That way, you'll be able to see if there are any copyright flags or strike before the video goes out there, because when YouTube processes the video, you'll get a notification that tells you whether there is or there isn't. The second thing is, when you stage your videos and you put a future time for them to be posted, posted, then YouTube has time to find ads that are appropriate to the content that you're sharing to put in your videos. I don't know if you realize this, but whenever you just publish your videos, oftentimes there are no ads in there, even though you have ad slots. That's because the algorithm just doesn't work that way. It needs to take time to absorb and digest your content, to figure out what it's about, and then to find ads that are most appropriate and then channel them towards your channels. Why is that important? Because remember, you only get paid for the view if it's monetized. So if there are no ads popping up on your video because you published it immediately when you uploaded it, then you're not going to be getting paid for those views. Now let's move to the T in Rockstar. T is for thumbnails, title, and tags. So critical to the success of your channel. Let's start with the thumbnails. Do you know that your thumbnails determine if people click or do not click to watch your video? Think about it, my rock stars. When you're buying a book in a bookstore, doesn't the cover determine if you pick it up and flip through the pages or not? Or when you're going through Netflix and you're looking for something to watch, depending on how that thumbnail is, which is the cover for that series or that movie or that documentary, it will draw you in to make a decision to watch or not to watch. The thumbnail is critical. So never just use a thumbnail that your video identifies when you upload it. Always do a customized thumbnail. It doesn't have to be fancy, it doesn't have to be elaborate, but just do something that will bring people in and get them to click. Sometimes it's not even the photo, it's the caption that you put on that thumbnail that draws people in. And again, I'm gonna show you exactly how I create my thumbnails from beginning to end in the tools I'm gonna share later on. Now, my click-through rate on YouTube is anywhere from 5% to I've seen as much as 18%. And what is considered average for most channels is about 3%. And click-through rate is basically the number of times somebody sees your thumbnail pop up and they literally click on it to watch. And if YouTube shows that thumbnail to 100 people and 5 people click, then that's a 5% click-through rate. The thing is, my rock stars, if people don't click, you don't get paid. So give them a reason to click, and you do so with a good thumbnail. Now, as it pertains to creating my thumbnail, I usually don't pose for a photo or anything like that before creating my video. When I sit and I hit record to create my video, I'll just do something like this, or something like, and then when I get the footage from the video, I do a screenshot, and then that becomes my thumbnail. Guys, I just don't have the time to go pose for a picture and all that good stuff. So I just do that, and now I have a photo for my thumbnail, and all I need to do now is add some text to it. Now, as it pertains to creating your thumbnails, ensure that it drives curiosity. It gets people to want to click, but never clickbait, because you lose your audience along the way. And for those who don't know what clickbaiting is, it's when you say on your thumbnail or communicate with a photograph that your video is gonna do and share something, and it does the opposite. Basically, you trapped your viewers into clicking and disappointing them with what they actually got when they eventually clicked. Because all that will happen is eventually they'll know that Odetta clickbaits, and when I click, I'm not gonna get what I want. So I'm just not gonna bother to click on her videos, and they'll ignore your content. Now, under T is titles, and what's recommended is that you keep your titles anywhere from 60 to 70 characters, even though the space will give you enough to put in 100 characters. Keep it concise, to the point, clear, but drive curiosity. You should also use keywords from your videos in your title as best as is possible, because the algorithm will pick up on those keywords and recommend your content. For example, if I'm talking about making money online with a certain platform, make money online is a keyword on YouTube that gets a lot of views. So you're going to want to make sure that those words are included in your title and also in the description of your video, which we'll talk about later on. Now, under T is also tags, and tags are keywords that you can include when you're uploading your video to YouTube. Now, it is said that tags do not add value, but I don't leave anything to chance, so I will go and I'll create tags, and I will use different applications to pull tags from successful videos that are similar to mine and copy those tags over to my video. And again, that's something I'm going to have to show you with the tools, because I can't tell you and walk you through it here for you to understand. Let's keep going. Now, in the acronym ROCKSTAR, we're now at A, and A is for analytics and authenticity. I don't think many people understand the power of the YouTube studio and the analytics that's there. You can use those analytics to literally drive the success of your channel. I got addicted to looking at my analytics and making decisions that followed through with what I was seeing there. So there's some key metrics that you need to pay attention to in your YouTube studio under analytics. The first one is click-through rate, which I mentioned earlier. The second one is your average view duration. After people click on your video to watch, you need to make sure that they're watching for a reasonable time. And based on what the internet says, that reasonable time is anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. My average view duration is a lot more, but that's also because I have much longer videos. However, on average, when the video gets shown to a larger audience, your average view duration will fall. And in my case, at that time, it averages anywhere from, I'd say, 8 to 10 minutes, which is still significantly higher than what's typical. Ensure that people are watching at least 30% of your content, which means that if your content is 10 minutes, they should watch at least 3 minutes, which means you have a decent average view duration. If it's 6 to 7 minutes, it's good. And if it's 8 minutes or above, it's phenomenal. Another critical metric is, of course, how you get paid. Your CPM, which is what YouTube earns per 1,000 views for your content, and your RPM, which is what YouTube pays you per 1,000 views, which is usually 55% of the CPM. Pay close attention to that number, because depending on your niche and your content type, it will be higher or lower. As an example, my CPM on my channel can be up to $100, and on average, it's about $45 to $65. It's high because I'm talking about personal finance. I'm talking about making money online. I'm talking about self-development, and my channel niche is education. CPMs will range anywhere from $1 to as much as $100 and odd, which I've seen on my channel. It all depends on the type of content that you're talking about. And again, that's something that I'll have to show you so you can determine what it is that you want to talk about on your channel to be able to maximize its full potential. Now, looking at the number of subscribers that you have, it's important, but remember, your subscriber count is not what pays the bills on YouTube. It's the number of views that you get. So I watch subscribers because if you have a captive audience watching your content, then you're always gonna get views. And you need to determine who is watching, where they're watching from, what else they're watching, which you'll get in the YouTube analytics. And from there, determine exactly how you need to structure your content to drive views. Now, as it pertains to authenticity, I can't say this enough, but just be real, because authenticity sells. Your audience will spot fake even through the screen that they're watching you on. Listen, everybody's not gonna like you. Everybody is not going to watch you. Your content is not going to appeal to some persons, and that's okay. Just be who you are, and you will find your tribe. I promise you that. And now we're at the last letter in Rockstar, which is R. And this one refers to several things in this, my YouTube success blueprint. R represents repeat, repost, resell, and reply. Let's talk about repeat. As I said earlier, you need to develop a timeline around when you're gonna post your content. Is it gonna be 3 per week like me? 1 per week, 2 per week, or 5 per month? You need to determine what works best for you, considering all the limitations that are in your life. But what's important is that you repeat. Whatever you decide, you keep doing it consistently, because consistency, despite what a lot of people believe, is more critical to success than starting. Because anybody can start, but how many people are going to continue to post on a schedule for a year, 2 years, or even 3 years, which is how long it takes some people to achieve massive success on YouTube? Now, one of the things that I'll show you is my posting checklist. Again, I'll have to do that with the tools that I'm going to share in a few minutes, right? But there's a checklist that I use every time I put out a new video to ensure I'm dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's to maximize on the number of views that I'm gonna get. Now, as it pertains to repost under R, this is where I take a portion of my video, I do a quick summary, and I pop it up on all my other social media platforms and repost it there to drive people to come over to YouTube and view my videos. Resell is another action in this blueprint under R. And by resell, I mean, how else beyond YouTube AdSense are you gonna earn from this YouTube channel? You need to resell your services and maximize your earning potential. In my case, I have my book. I had it before I started my YouTube channel, but I talk about it and I recommend that people buy it all the time on this channel. It's another stream of income or another source of income that can be driven by YouTube. We also have our e-commerce platform, Goffer. Again, we're directing customers there. You can create membership platforms like a Patreon, where I have my club members who come to me and give me an opportunity for me to coach them to achieve their greatest aspirations. I also have digital products. I have physical products like merch. So that's another thing that you can do to maximize the earning potential of your channel. You can also use affiliate links where you're recommending products that you have used or products that you just want to share by announcing a link that's in your description for your viewers to click, and when they click and buy, you're able to make a few extra dollars. And then by reply, it's simple. Try to reply to as many comments as is possible. Build a relationship with your viewers and listen to their ideas, listen to their suggestions, and act on them if you feel the need to. Now, I just told you my blueprint for success on YouTube. Now, to show you this blueprint, I've decided to create 2 tools that I kept referring to throughout the entire video. The first tool is going to be a course, and I invite you to go into the description, to click there. You'll see a link where you can put your email down so that you can be notified when this course is ready. And in this course, I'm going to show you step by step exactly how I achieved success on YouTube and how you can do so as well. There's no guarantees, because at the end of the day, I can show you until I'm blue in the face. If you don't execute and execute accordingly, I can't guarantee success. The second tool is that I will make available on my website, odetarocketcar.com, a program where you can get 6 one-on-one sessions with me over a period of 6 weeks to 3 months to explain exactly step by step what I've done on YouTube in this blueprint of success to be able to achieve the milestones that I shared earlier, and to do so in such a short time. Now remember that you don't need a lot of views to be successful on YouTube. With the right niche, which is something I'll show you, for only 5,000 views per day, you can be making $3,000 per month. For only 10,000 views, you can be making $6,000. For only 60,000 views per day, you can be making $36,000, and these are all dollar amounts per month. Hopefully, I've shared enough in this video for you to not need that course or to not need my one-on-one coaching, but I keep sharing in these videos and you keep asking, Odetta, I want more. I want to get more. I want to learn more. So I wanted to make those options available to you. Now, again, we're at the end of another video. If you found value in it, please remember to like, and don't forget to become a part of the Rockstars family by subscribing. Until next time, walk good.